What's good? What's happening, Juge fam? Hope you're all doing great on this Wednesday afternoon. I don't know how this week has been for you, but I guarantee you the YPG fam's got your back. And reminding you, if at any given moment you want to reach out, you want to get in touch with us, and you want to DM us, you want to vent, you want to talk, you know the YPG fam is here to take good care of you. Many of the things you might be going through, someone or one of us has been through it. And we are more than willing, more than glad to assist you. You're never a burden to us. You're never a burden, a weight, a heavy weight which we have to carry. You are never the reason of our complaint. As a matter of fact, you're the reason for our smile, the reason for our victory. So if at any given moment you feel like you want to get in touch, the YPG fam is here to take care of you. And today we're going to speak about something which we know the word very commonly. I'm not even going to go through the thesaurus or the dictionary to try to explain the dictionary meaning of it, because I believe we all understand it, at least in theory, what this word means. And the word I want to talk about is sacrifice. And shortly I'm going to share with you a couple of quotes from famous athletes, men who had to go through a lot for them to reach where they are today. Famous men who today are where they are today because they had to do exactly what we're talking about today, which is to sacrifice, which is very difficult for most people, very difficult for everybody. Sacrifice is an uneasy thing. And the fact is, anything you and I want to achieve without sacrifice, it's impossible for us to obtain it. It's impossible for us to achieve it. It's impossible, really. Because the more you want to achieve something, the harder it is to achieve it. It's like being at the top. The top requires you to deal with a lot of pressure. The top requires for you to deal with a lot of hardships. And at the top, you are more of an outcast. outcast in the sense that you're not in the common level, on a common level. Therefore, most people are looking at you. And not everybody who's looking at you is proud to see you there. Not everybody who's going to be looking at you will be happy to see you there, even if you have not yet reached the pinnacle of where you want to reach. But the fact is, the moment you start getting up, people start looking up and wondering, why are you there? Who does she think she is? Who does he think he is? Why is he there? What makes him think he deserves to be there? Well, we don't deserve to be at the top, but the fact is, the top is, or success, victory, is something obtained by a person who is willing to sacrifice. And it's painful. What you want, where you want to be, requires sacrifice. And why are most people on the same level? Whether on the same level or a little bit lower than others, and why is there that imbalance? What creates that imbalance is the number or the amount of sacrifice from each person. Those who are willing to sacrifice more will gain more results, will obtain more results. And those who aren't willing to sacrifice, well, unfortunately, they will remain where they are today. What is it that's holding you from achieving what you want to achieve? It's sacrifice, and sacrifice will come in different shapes. It'll come in different forms. Sacrifice will come in different ways. Sacrifice might be waking up early. Sacrifice might be spending less. Sacrifice might be self-control. Sacrifice might be giving up certain people, certain habits, certain behaviors. Sacrifice will come in different ways. What you want to achieve in your life will and be born out of a genuine sacrifice. And I mean, that's how life is. What we plant is what we're going to harvest. What you put in is what you're going to get out. You want to lose weight, you will have to sacrifice the tasty food of what you want to eat. You will have to sacrifice that junk. You'll have to sacrifice the burgers and the fries and the amazing milkshake and ice cream and chocolates. And here I am daydreaming about all these delicious things. If you want to lose weight and you want to really be healthy, well, unfortunately, you're going to have to sacrifice it. It's part of it. You will have to say no to the things you want the most. You want to get fit, you got to wake up early to exercise. You really got to be up early to give it your all. Today I woke up early, and not early enough. I wanted to wake up even earlier, but it was early for me to sacrifice. You know, my body's a little bit asking for it, but that's a sacrifice required for me to stay fit, for me to remain, on that level that I want to remain, that stamina I want to continue having. I want to reach my mid-30s, my late 30s, my early 40s, fit, with stamina, being able to run and not easily get tired and being there huffing and puffing and hoping, grasping, gasping there for breath, like nobody's business. But I want to achieve that. Sacrifice will be required. That's for you, that's for me. You want to do well in your studies. You're going to have to sacrifice. You're going to have to sacrifice the free time, the moment of fun. You're going to have to be there studying. That's part of sacrifice. The first quote I want to share with you is from a famous boxer. I'm sure you've at least heard of him, Muhammad Ali. He said, "I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life a champion." I hated every minute of training. Sacrifice is a very unwanted thing. Sacrifice is something which we don't really want to do. Sacrifice is not something we actually enjoy doing. So in his case, he hated every minute of training, which means he hated every minute of sacrifice. I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life a champion. How many of us want to be champions? How many of us want to obtain things which, they are there at the top? How many things would you love to see in your life? Where would you love to see yourself in the next year, 2, 3, 5 years? We're already in October, second week of October. We've got another 2 to 3 weeks, November and then December, which means basically 3 more months left of this year. And then before you know it, we're in 2025. The beginning of 2025 will be a result of how you gave yourself in 2024. And what you give in 2025 will be the results will be in the following year or years to come. So every minute of that thing you want to achieve, working towards it, you may hate it, whether it's school, whether it is, giving up that junk food, whether it is giving up sleep. You'd love to sleep a bit more, but what you want to achieve, you need to wake up earlier because you don't have time. So you have to make time. So you need to squeeze in more of the hard work into the few 24 hours you may have in that day. Reminding you that, like Muhammad Ali and any other athlete, any other winner in life, anybody who's a champion, he's passed on, but he still stands as the greatest of all time, as the greatest boxer of all time. And I'm going to use a couple of athletes because athletes are people who really, they are high achievers, people who literally had to sacrifice the negativity in their mind, sacrifice the junk because they had to stay fit, sacrifice good time spent with their family, sacrifice the bad influence, which sometimes the bad influence is fun because bad influence lacks discipline. There is no need to sacrifice to be with a crowd. There is no need to sacrifice if you got to live a life of crime. What's the sacrifice there? Well, you are probably sacrificing your life, your future. But besides that, hey, you don't have to pay taxes. You just steal. It's always easier. Well, if you want to start a business, sacrifice is required. You got to be the first to wake up to start your business, first to start, the last to leave. Nobody cares about your business as much as you do. So sacrifice is required. You may hate every minute of it, but the fact is, without putting in that work, you're never going to get anywhere. I'm going to share with you another quote. This one is by Lance Armstrong. And he says, pain is temporary. It may last a minute or an hour or a day or a year, but eventually it will subside and something else will take its place. If I quit, however, it lasts forever. Let's read that again. It says, pain is temporary. It may last a minute or an hour or a day or a year. Reminding you, pain is directly linked to sacrifice. So pain is temporary. It may last a minute or an hour or a day or a year, but eventually it'll subside and something else will take its place. If I quit, however, it lasts forever. So the pain of not sacrificing is worse than that temporary pain of sacrificing, that temporary pain of studying. But the moment you pass, you forget that pain. It's like a mother in labor. She feels the pain of giving birth. It's painful. She's screaming. She's yelling at that moment. She is groaning. She's in pain. I cannot imagine, especially because I'm a man, so I cannot imagine the pain of a woman giving birth. But it's like she completely forgets at the moment that baby is in her arms. So a person can have that temporary pain, which may last a day, a minute, an hour, a year, or even a couple of years. But once that victory is obtained, well, the pain goes away and is oftentimes forgotten. Understand that the pain of sacrifice is less than the pain of regret. Remember this, don't forget this. The pain of hard work, the pain of sacrifice, the pain of struggling for what you want is much less intense than the pain of regret. There is nothing worse than the pain of regret, where you know that you were so close, yet you were so far. So remember that. The next quote I want to share with you is by Cristiano Ronaldo, which goes, Dreams are not what you see in your sleep. Dreams are things which do not let you sleep. I personally have this opinion about Cristiano that he is not the most talented footballer. I think his football talent is a little above average, but not worthy of the GOAT status. But his work ethic puts him there amongst the GOATs. That I'll never take away from him. My point here is he worked for where he is today. He recently opened a YouTube channel. I'm not too sure how many millions of followers he got in a few hours, in a few days. He broke records because everybody looks at him and sees a GOAT, greatest of all time. Obviously, it's debatable between him and Messi. And I got a quote from Messi too, so relax with the Messi guys here. But my point is that he worked for it. He worked for it, no sleep. At times, your day will have to be like that. You want to be the best. I remember the days of when Uncle Vinny, he was studying, I think it was marketing and a couple of stuff. He was marketing, and I remember how he would be like a walking zombie. I won't forget this. He was like a walking zombie because he wanted to be the best. And I remember as well the joy he had when he was nominated to go to the Loeries. Loeries is one of the most prestigious awards in South Africa in that sector. And the joy he had when he flew from here to Durban, and how he was telling me and showing me his pictures. He still has the pictures of what he won and what he achieved. But that was sacrifice. I'm speaking about someone who is here close to us. So I got to see that. But my point is that that sacrifice required sleepless nights. And as Cristiano says, it's not what you see in your dream, but dreams are things which do not let you sleep. So because you want it so much, you don't sleep. How much you want something is proven by the amount of sacrifice you're willing to put in it. Got it? The next quote comes in from, well, what many would call his rival. He says, you have to fight. Let's transfer, or rather, let's exchange. Let's trade the word fight for sacrifice. You have to sacrifice to reach your dream. And then he uses the actual word. You have to sacrifice and work hard for it. That's it. I think it's straightforward. I don't think I have to say much. You have to fight to reach your dream, which means your dream isn't going to come to you. You have to sacrifice and work hard for it. He is arguably the most talented footballer of all times. But if he didn't sacrifice, he wouldn't be where he is today. So talent on its own is not going to cut it. Talent on its own is not going to make us to reach what we want to reach. It's not going to take us where we want to be. Sacrifice has to be involved. The next quote coming in is by Tiger Woods, one of the greatest, if not the greatest golfers of all times. It says, the bigger the setback, the greater the comeback. I love this one. The bigger the setback, the greater the comeback. The greater your challenge, the greater the hardship you're going through, the more tasty is that victory. And the higher you're aiming, the harder it's going to be for you to obtain it. If you are aiming something low, the sacrifice won't be that much. The sacrifice necessary won't be that much. If what you're aiming is medium-sized, now the sacrifice will also have to be medium-sized. And if what you want to achieve is immense, then your sacrifice will also have to be immense. So the bigger the setback, the greater the comeback. How much do you want what you want? The level of sacrifice you put in, is defined by the number, the size of what you want. How much you want it, your sacrifice. I mean, who doesn't want to be rich? Who doesn't want to enter a mall and be able to buy whatever without ever having to look at the price tag? Who doesn't want that life? Who doesn't want to be able to just, you don't have to look at the price tag. Just get it, just buy it, purchase it, it's yours. Who doesn't want that life? For you to have that, the level of sacrifice required is much higher. If you want to be a billionaire, your sacrifice has to be much more than the sacrifice to become a millionaire or anything less than that. Got it? Sacrifice is everything. The last quote I want to share with you guys is by one of my favorite athletes. I love his story. I love his trajectory to get to where he reached today and what he has become today. I love the sport as well, but what he did, the record he set, chances are no one will be able to break that record. Chances are. But for somebody to break it, they'll just have to sacrifice much more than he did. Is anybody willing to sacrifice more than Usain? Then they'll be able to achieve what he has achieved. And on this quote, he says, "Dreams are free. Goals have a cost. While you can daydream for free, goals don't come without a price. Time, effort, sacrifice, and sweat. How will you pay for your goals?" Let's read that again. Dreams are free. Goals have a cost. While you can daydream for free, goals don't come without a price. Time, effort, sacrifice, and sweat. How will you pay for your goals? You're only going to be able to pay for your goals with sacrifice. And as he says here, time, effort, sacrifice, and sweat. A lot of people, they see what people have achieved, but they don't know what people had to go through to achieve that. There's a famous picture of a guy where people see him at the top of a hill and they criticize where he is. Oh, it was easy. Oh, life provided him, and everybody has their critics there. But interesting is that they don't see what is behind that hill, the top of the hill, the thorny patches and the hardships he had to go through in order for him to get to the top. We've been speaking about how much we want our YPG fam to make us proud, to be a reference like these athletes are, and there are many others. And some of them did not have the system the YPG has, or the ability, or rather, let me say the system and the thrust the YPG is to young people in South Africa and across the world. They didn't have it. Most of them didn't. It had to be born inside of them, a deep determination. Most of them had family issues. Most of them had financial issues. Most of them came from the struggle. But for them to be part of the 1%, they had to sacrifice more than just 100%. We want to see you guys succeeding. We want to see you guys, at the top. We want to see you as a champion, as a reference. We have a few who are making it, but we believe that there can be much more. We want our YPG fam to be the best in everything they do, the best students, the best athletes, the best politicians. Many of us will complain about the state of our nation, whether in South Africa or anywhere around the world. But when will we have someone with the mindset, the right mindset, to rep us in politics? We want people who will inspire others as mentors, as coordinators, as pastors or pastors' wives, as businessmen, as businesswomen, you name it, in every industry, in every single industry where we can make a difference. We want someone repping us in the YPG, from the YPG. But with all the theory that's given, if sacrifice is not applied, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but nothing's going to happen. Without sacrifice, it is impossible for you, for me, for any one of us to conquer anything. What is the YPG? What is the UCKG composed of? Sacrifice. Sacrifice upon sacrifice. We wake up early. We have no time to sleep, no time to rest. But that's just part of our sacrifice. We just have that winning instinct inside of us. And if you have the winning instinct inside of you, then you must have the sacrificial instinct inside of you. What do you have to sacrifice? PJ, what do I have to sacrifice? I don't know. Is it your sleep? Is it sacrificing your laziness? Is it sacrificing those friends? Is it sacrificing a relationship? Is it sacrificing your time for worthless things? Is it sacrificing scrolling on your phone, being on TikTok the whole day, hours and hours of your screen time spent on that? What is it? What is it? It all depends on you. And I'm sorry to say this, but there are things which we can help you with, that we can be the boost for you, but there are things which no one can do for you. No one can sacrifice for you. No one will sacrifice for you. And even those who will are limited. Your mother will sacrifice for you. Your parents, they will sacrifice for you to a certain extent, but there are certain things which no one can do for you. Your mother can't put you in the UEFA Champions League. Your mother can't put you in the World Cup. She can be that boost. She can be the one who believes in you. She can be your number one fan, but no one can put you there. The YPG can't put you there. All the money in the world can't put you there if you aren't willing to sacrifice. Well, even if you make it there because of money, you're going to be outshined and outperformed dismally, because those who made it there, they made it through sacrifice. They had to sacrifice some way, somehow. And without sacrifice, we don't learn, we don't reach anywhere in our lives. Got it? YPG fam, that's it from me today. I want to hear more great stories from you guys. I don't want to be here sat down, traveling, visiting our different branches, meeting you guys, and just hearing average stories. I want to hear great stories from you guys. But there's only so much I can do. There's only so much we can do. There comes a moment that it's up to you. Get rid of the lazy vibe. You know, it's cute nowadays. It's fun. It's funny to be the kind of person who sleeps the whole day, who doesn't do much in their day, you know, who just say, no, I slept the whole day. Nah, I wasn't in the mood. We need to get rid of that. I wasn't in the mood. Remember one of the quotes which said, I hated every minute of training, but then he told himself, suffer now and be a champion for the rest of your life. What do you want? Whatever you want, if you don't sacrifice for it, that which you want will become a sacrifice. You will sacrifice it. You will give it up. Got it? Sacrifice is giving up something for something greater. Sacrifice is giving something we want for something much greater. But you can sacrifice that dream, or you can sacrifice for that dream. The choice is yours. The ball is in your court. I'll see you guys again this coming Saturday, 7 p.m. for the Vibe O'Clock, and as well Sunday, 7 p.m. as we continue with the amazing work of the photo challenge. Okay? Take care of yourselves. You're going to check out the promo that's coming up next.
Hello, YPG fam. This coming Saturday at 7 p.m., we will be having the Vibe O'Clock, and we will be speaking about how we as the YPG need to support each other and have each other's backs. Another thing, on Sunday at 7 p.m., we are continuing with the photo challenge, which has honestly progressed with each week. So I'm really excited to see who's going to take it this week. And tune in for you to cast in your votes as well. Thank you.
And we meet soon. And as you know, we are here to take off. But for us to take off, sacrifice is required. For that space shuttle which you see on your screen, that space shuttle which you see, sacrifice was required. In some cases, even death took place. But sacrifice is sacrifice. Anything great we want will require sacrifice. We're out of here. See you soon. Let's take off.